Hi all, in this video we go through the complete process of creating metal tools and weapons so that you can become a Master Smith in ASKA. In case you are new to our channel, Pixelcave is a team of 2, and if our guides help you, we'd be super grateful for a thumbs up, and of course feel free to subscribe. While iron weapons are not too important early on, you will want to get your hands on iron tools as early as possible. An iron axe will for instance allow you to chop down hardwood trees, whose wood you need for large weapons and many upgrades. And an iron skinning knife will allow you to get hide and pelt from select animals. Crafting iron tools and weapons is not too hard, but there are quite a few buildings and phases involved. And this is what's required building-wise. A workshop with the Metalworker add-on. A coal maker to create coal, a bloomery to process raw ore or metal scraps, and optimally a cave to mine iron ore. Before we explain the process and phases involved in making iron weapons and tools, let's very briefly touch base on the building setup. Upgrade your workshop pit to a hut if not already done. This is required as to be able to add add-ons to the workshop and as well to build a coal maker. Next, build a coal maker, which is required to build the Metalworker add-on and a bloomery. The coal maker will allow you to turn firewood into coal, which in turn is required to fuel the furnaces involved in this process. That said, coal can also fuel all fire pits and fireplaces in your village. With that done, add a Metalworker add-on to your workshop, and as well build a bloomery so that you can process all your raw ore and scraps. In case you have found a cave, you need to build a cave entrance. This will allow you to mine larger quantities of iron ore. If you have villagers assigned to this task, don't forget they require a torch in addition to a pick to work the mine. With all those buildings ready, let's talk about the process itself. Step 1, as you will have guessed, is to secure ore or metal scraps. Initially, you might resort to metal scraps that can drop from skeletons, draugr and some bosses. While a somewhat unlimited way for procuring iron, these drops are rather random and it will take time to get enough. The better alternative for much larger quantities is mining a cave. If you have yet to find a cave, we got a video on that topic on our channel. With plenty of raw ore or some scraps in storage, it's time to use the bloomery. The bloomery smelts raw ore and scraps into iron blooms. We typically, at least so far, have not used a villager for this job as to avoid wasting resources. That said, we expect that it's only a matter of time before villager AI has been improved enough to take on this task. So, how does it work? Simply fill up the bloomery furnace with a lot of coal from your coal maker and some nuggets of ore. In the current version of the game, we can easily do a ratio of 5 ore to 15 coal per batch. We expect it to be possible to increase this, but we believe the related blacksmithing skill is not yet working as intended. Once ready, ignite the furnace, then immediately blow air into the furnace with the bellows. Press and hold E to use the bellows. Once it bottoms out, release to let it fill up again all the way. Then pump it again. This process will slowly raise the temperature in the furnace as seen. For things to start progressing, you need to keep the temperature between the 2 white lines. The higher up to the top line, the faster things will convert. With a batch of 5 ore or scraps, you can simply keep a regular rhythm of a full pump and release with a short break between to succeed. Letting it drop down just enough for a full pump to not bring it over the top line. If you wanted to speed things up, you'd pump fully until reaching the top line, then start with shorter clicks as we show here, as to make it stay close to it all the time. You can see the conversion process on screen as you keep using the bellows. Should all be done with plenty of fuel left, you can click to cancel, then extinguish the furnace to save what's left of the fuel. Once extinguished or out of fuel, the process of creating a bloom block is complete and you're now ready for phase 2. Click to remove the bloom block. This will put the hot ore on the anvil where you need to hammer off molten slag with a hammer. You do that by pressing and holding E till one side is clean. You know a side is done when you're no longer seeing damage numbers. Then click R to rotate it right once and repeat the process. Then do that a further 2 times before rotating it once forward with T. Then a last double forward to get to the final side of the slag. At least this is how we do it. Do note that there is a timer for this process, so there is some time pressure, though even if you need to get a new hammer mid-process, there's usually enough time. Once done, you'll get 1 iron bloom per raw resource as long as you did not fail in either of the 2 phases. We can now take our iron blooms over to the workshop's Metalworker add-on. Before you get going, make sure to fill up the trove with water and refill it as needed. Place the ore in the forge. Add some coal as fuel, then ignite it. The forge will now heat up the ore, and once it reaches the right temperature, you can use the anvil to craft any of the available options. The next phase works just like at the Bloomery. You need to use a hammer to finalize the iron part, though these only have 4 sides. Once shaped, click T to send the part to quenching in the trove. Once the part has cooled down in the trove, you can pick it up. Our small iron axe head is ready for our last step. Note that the process of cooling it will have evaporated some water, so make sure to top it up again. The trove also has limited space, so depending on the size of the part, you might need to clear it out before you get going. There's also storage space for finished parts as well as ore and fuel on the side here. The very final step, as you likely have guessed, is to craft a tool with our new shiny iron part. And one of your first tools will likely be a small iron axe as well. Using the workshop's main crafting bench, craft your new axe. All the smaller tools can be done with basic resources, while the larger ones all require processed wood. Your next step will likely be to chop a lot of hardwood and to build another workshop add-on, the carpenter. If you like us already built a weaver, you will need a second workshop as you can only have a maximum of 2 add-ons per workshop. The good news is that iron tools do not break. Well, the tools will break, but you will retain the iron part in your inventory, meaning you can directly recraft your iron axe with only a few sticks. We hope this video could answer your questions around metal crafting. If you have any cool tips or suggestions for other guide topics, feel free to leave a comment. And if you like what we do, please do give us a thumbs up and subscribe.